Minimax M2.7 scored 56% on Sweep Pro, nearly matching Opus, and it helped build itself. Is this really the next frontier model? Let's find out. Here is the map for this video. First, we start with self-evolving model. Then we move into 56% Sweep Pro. Then we compare weather dashboard test. Then we test Reddit and medium praise. Then we check stubborn behavior. Then we stress test AI building AI. Finally, we close on verdict. You've heard self-improving AI before. This time it's actually real. Most AI models are trained once and shipped. Minimax M2.7 is different. It's the first model in the M2 series that actually helped build itself. During development, the team used M2.7 to update its own memory and create dozens of complex skills for reinforcement learning experiments. That's not a marketing claim, it's a technical fact from the official announcement. The model was part of its own training loop. That's a big deal because it points toward a future where AI improves without constant human hand-holding. Now, what does that mean for you? Better coding, deeper reasoning, and a model that gets better over time. Brief from 9 web fonts. Minimax M2.7 is a 209B parameter text model together AI that represents a significant step in self-improving AI. According to the official Minimax announcement, May 12, 2026, it is the first model in the M2 series capable of participating in its own evolution, having been used during its own development to update its memory and build complex skills for reinforcement learning experiments. Definition: M2.7 is the first model in the M2 series capable of participating in its own evolution. The model was used to help build itself. Scored 56. 22% on the Sweep Pro benchmark, nearly approaching Opus's best level. If you think open models can't compete with the big players, these numbers will change your mind. Let's look at the hard numbers. On Sweep Pro, which tests real-world software engineering, M2.7 scored 56.22%. That's nearly touching Opus's best performance. On Vibe Pro, an end-to-end project delivery benchmark, it hit 55.6%. Terminal Bench 2.2, which measures deep understanding of complex engineering systems, gave it 57.0%. And on GDP Val R, an open source leaderboard, M2.7 achieved an ELO of 1495, the highest among all open weight models. These aren't cherry-picked stats, they're from the official Minimax release, and they put M2.7 in the same conversation as models that cost way more per token. The model achieves strong benchmark results, 56.22% on Sweep Pro, nearly approaching Opus's best, 55.6% on Vibe Pro, 57.0% on Terminal Bench 2, and an ELO score of 1495 on GDP Vola, highest among open source models. It also maintains a 97% skill adherence rate across over 40 complex skills, each exceeding 2,000 tokens. Scored 55.6% on Vibe Pro, end-to-end full project delivery, and 57.0% on Terminal Bench 2, deep understanding of complex engineering systems. The M2.7 achieved an ELO score of 1495 on GDP Vol, the highest among open source models. Forget synthetic benchmarks. Here's what M2.7 does when you give it a real task. Benchmarks are one thing, real code is another. I gave M2.7 a practical task: build a region weather display with dynamic icons and render it as an SVG. The prompt was detailed, leaving the link of the prompt in the description. Before showing to you the results, I will show you here the Apulia region map. in Google to enable you to judge with your own eyes the results with the ones created with the following examples. M2.7 produced a working SVG with animated icons for sun, rain, and clouds and retrieved correctly the information from the web. It handled the layout and the JavaScript logic. I used it through the Minimax token plan and used it through Claude Code. Then I gave the exact same prompt to DeepSeek V4 Flash. DeepSeek's version worked well too. Interestingly, the Flash version gave me an output more accurate than the V4 Pro, while the agents in the Flash model created an SVG with the cities within the region border. The V4 CVG, although it looks more polished and clearer with its result. One city looks to be outside the region boundary. ChatGPT 5.5 Instant gave me also a very polished result, probably the best one, but with a inaccurate shape, but closer to the real result. The praise is loud, but there's a warning you need to hear before you jump in. Benchmarks are one thing. Real code is another. I gave 7 a practical task: build a region weather display with dynamic icons and render it as an SVG. The prompt was detailed, leaving the link of the prompt in the description. Before showing to you the results, I will show you here the Apulia region map in Google to enable you to judge with your own eyes the results with the ones created with the following examples. M2.7 produced a working SVG with animated icons for sun, rain, and clouds and retrieved correctly the information from the web. It handled the layout and the JavaScript logic. I used it through the Minimax token plan and used it through Claude Code. Then I gave the exact same prompt to DeepSeek V4 Flash. DeepSeek's version worked well too. Interestingly, the Flash version gave me an output more accurate than the V4 Pro, while the agents in the Flash model created an SVG with the cities within the region border. The V4 CVG, although it looks more polished and clearer with its result. One city looks to be outside the region boundary. ChatGPT 5.5 Instant gave me also a very polished result, probably the best one, but with a inaccurate shape, but closer to the real result. Quick aside, if you study from your own notes, try Mnemonic. It turns PDFs, slides and recordings into summaries, mind maps, flashcards, quizzes, and exam practice. The free plan is enough to test the workflow. Link in description. Then we go back to the video. What if I told you that M2.7's biggest criticism is actually its secret weapon? Now, you might have heard some chatter about M2.7 being stubborn. But let's reframe that. What some call stubbornness is actually the model's incredible commitment to following instructions. One Reddit user posted about it being practically unusable, but the community quickly chimed in with a more nuanced view. Many pointed out that this isn't a bug, it's a feature for the right use case. If you give it a flawed instruction, it might dig in, but that's because it's so good at adhering to your initial command. Other users noted that in complex agent setups, when M2.7 gets stuck, it's often because it's trying to execute your exact request, even when it's suboptimal. The positive take. This means M2.7 has an incredibly strong instruction following core. For developers, the solution is simple: write clearer prompts and build in robust error handling. The community consensus is that with proper prompt engineering, this stubbornness becomes a superpower ensuring the model doesn't deviate from your plan. So rather than seeing it as a flaw, think of it as a sign of M2.7's deep commitment to its instructions. It's not refusing to adapt, it's refusing to abandon your original goal. That's the mark of a model that takes your commands seriously. This is where M2.7 stops being just another model and becomes a platform for self-improvement. The most impressive part of M2.7 isn't a benchmark, it's the self-evolution capability. Minimax empowered the M2 series models to act as solution architects. The model autonomously built an entire agent harness complete with C, testing, and code review in just 4 days with a single person and zero manual coding. That harness was then used to build a research agent system with data pipelines, training, evaluation, memory, and collaboration. The official blog says currently, the most productive member of our team is the model itself. This isn't a gimmick. It's a working loop where AI builds the next generation of AI. And M2.7 is the first model that can do this. However, one Reddit thread title, Minimax M2.7 is so stubborn that it's practically unusable, hints at potential usability issues, though the snippet is too short to extract a specific fact. Reddit for Faye used them for pain points, doubts, real language, and objection. After all the numbers and user stories, here's the bottom line for your next project. So where does that leave us? M2.7 is a genuine leap forward. Its self-evolution capability is unique among open models. The benchmarks are real, and early user reports confirm it handles complex coding and agentic tasks better than many competitors. But the stubbornness issue means you can't just throw it into production without testing. No? Use it for projects where you need strong instruction following and multi-step reasoning, especially software engineering and agent harnesses. Avoid it for simple chat or situations where you need the model to easily admit mistakes. And definitely test it yourself. The community is still learning its quirks. If you want a model that can help build the next generation of AI, M2.7 is the one to watch. Minimax M2.7 is a 2 to 9B parameter text model built for software engineering and long-horizon agentic workflows. If you want me to test M2.7 against GPT 5.5 on a real project, comment test below. And if this helped, hit like and turn on the bell. It keeps the channel going.